Hi, everybody. Thank you all for coming. Today we're going to be talking about cultural diversity, and I just wanted to say hi to everybody. Um, this shouldn't take too long. It's going to be a short lesson, but we're going to talk about what does cultural diversity mean. Now, I want you to take about 2 minutes to come up with an answer to this question. And what we're going to do is I'm going to set a little timer, and then at the end of the 2 minutes, I want you to give me an answer, okay? So let's start with that. So your question is, what does cultural diversity mean? And go. And it can be anything. Whatever you think it means, that's what I want you to tell me at the end, okay? And whenever you come up with your answer, I want you to say, got it, in the chat. Okay, 2 of you have it. 3, 4. Okay, everyone's got it. So we're gonna stop our timer and go back. I want a couple of you to get on and tell me what you think cultural diversity means.
I would say it's having multiple cultures in like one space, whether you're talking about a country or just a city, and it could be big as like a continent, honestly. It's just however many different cultures are there, not just one like overall culture.
All right, anybody else? Anybody else gonna tell me what they think cultural diversity means?
The quality or quantity of a cultural of different cultures in a certain space.
And one more.
Cultural diversity on a smaller level means like just not everybody's the same. You've got a classroom full of kids, you've got all your friends in your classroom, but you don't all come from the same background, and that lends to your diversity.
Yep. Alrighty. Our today's agenda is we're talking about cultural diversity, and here's our standard and our objective. I'll let y'all read that real quick. Alrighty. Now, this is going to be one of our take-home activities today. So whatever you write your homework in, I want you to write down this question. What 10 words come to mind when you hear the term cultural diversity? You don't have to answer it now. It's going to be your homework assignment, so just write it down in whatever little notebook or planner you write your homework in, okay? Now, cultural diversity means different things for different people. So what we're going to start with is I want y'all to watch this YouTube video real quick. And it is pulled up on my screen right here. It's only about 5 minutes, but I think this might explain to you a little bit about different aspects of cultural diversity.
Provo, Utah. I looked you up on Wikipedia. It's 0.0004% African American. I said, wow, is that even a whole brother?
Now, I want to pause real quick right there. What is he doing? Is he referring to different races? Yes, that is what he's doing. He's just making a joke based on the color of his skin. So different races could be something diverse, maybe.
Gonna double that score. It's nice to be here and look, let's just have fun. I think we all have a right to laugh. People get angry and upset about so many things, and sometimes you just need to laugh about things. Find a reason to laugh about things. I make a joke about race. Find a reason to laugh about it. No sense in getting mad, sad, angry, upset. When I talk about race, it's funny to me. It is. Think about it. If somebody's dark like me, we say black. If somebody's light, we say white. Think about this. This is the two blandest colors in a crayon box. That's what we use to describe ourselves, right? I was thinking about this. I was doing a show in Nebraska. Hershey, Nebraska. Go figure. Population 560. You're in a small town when all the businesses begin with the word the. I'm driving through, there's the bank, the store, the jail. My gig was at the bar. When I walked in, I realized that the town's name was Hershey, but they hadn't seen chocolate before until I showed up. But they were nice people, and it was funny because at the end of the show, a lady came up and she said, "Can I take a picture with you?" And I was like, "Sure." So, she handed somebody her phone and we posed and I put my arm around her. And just when they were getting ready to take the picture, she looked up and said, "I've never been this close to a black man before." And I looked down and said, "I'm not black." And she said, "What?" And that's how they took the picture of her going, And so she was like, "What do you mean you're black?" I said, "No, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you all what I told her. Just because I'm dark doesn't mean I'm black any more than just because she was white and she white. We all have a true color. Like when the government does the census report, every 10 years, they ask a bunch of questions. One of the questions is race. The first box to check in that category is for white. Now, the second box, my race. They have multiple choices. Black, African American, Negro, running back, rapper. But they had a little box to write something in. And that write-in box is what made me decide to find my true color. Now, how do you do that? Go to a hardware store. Go in the paint section. Spend some time. Grab those little paint chips. It took me about 15 minutes before I found my true color. If you say I'm black, I'm not mad. That's not racist. I'm not offended. I'm just telling you all here in Provo, Utah, I know my true color. I'm a shade of brown called chocolate indulgence. Hello.
Okay, guys. Now, I know that may seem a little off topic, but I want you to go to the chat and I want you to click on the link that says PPG Paints. And I want you guys to find your true color. And then after you go to the link and you find your color, I want you to tell me what it's labeled. You can be willow tree. I'm probably one of these, winter wheat or parchment paper. So I want you all to go to this website and I want you to find your true color real quick. It doesn't have to be exact, and it could be what your heart feels. You want to be billowing clouds, you can be billowing clouds. Can everybody find the link in the chat? Let me know in the chat that you found it. And that you're looking for your true color. Belle, you joined a little late, so let me share it again, okay? And I'll repost it. All right, now can everybody find it? Okay, there's one. Okay. All right, are the other three of you looking at the colors? Okay. Should be two more of you. All right. So Miss Janita found hers and it was linen tint. Let's see if we can find that so everyone can see. And Garrett's is Black Magic, Champagne Ice. Y'all have some great colors, guys. Magical Stardust. All right, I think just Carson has to give us her color. Purple Rain. Awesome, guys. So does anybody want to tell me why they picked those? Does anybody want to talk and tell me why they picked their color? Because it made you happy, because it matched your personality, because it matched your skin tone. Come on, guys. Somebody talk.
Mine matched my skin tone.
Good. All right. Who else?
Mine matched my personality.
Your personality, huh? Okay. Anybody else want to share?
Mine's just a nice shade of gray, and I feel like that just compliments me as a person.
Well, y'all have some very nice shades, okay, guys? All right, let's go back to our PowerPoint. So we found y'all's true colors, right? Nobody was the same, was it? Everybody picked a different color. And y'all picked different colors for different reasons. Some people's matched their skin tone, some people's matched their personalities. Some people picked it because it was bright, but not too bright. So what does cultural diversity mean then? That it's just diverse and different? I want you guys to now click on this link that I posted in the chat, and we're gonna go to a little group activity, okay? It's the Nearpod, and I want you to go to either click on the link or go to nearpod.com and put in the link, okay, guys? Say okay if you understand in the chat. And if you don't understand, ask for help.
Where's the link supposed to pop up at in the chat?
Yeah, since you joined after everybody else, I'm just gonna have to post it again. Or you can just go to nearpod.com, okay?
Okay.
Let me just post it. There you go. For anybody that joined a little later, I put it back in the chat. And it should come up with something that says embracing our diversity. It's going to look a little bit It's going to look like this, okay? Has everybody found it? I'm going to go look in the chat and see who found it. All right, we have one person on. Let's see who's on. All righty, we have Carson, Sarah, Janita, Riley. All right, looks like we're waiting on 2 more, okay? All righty, Carson, Isabel. Where's Garrett? He's not on yet. Okay, we're waiting for the teacher. Okay. So I think everybody's on except for Garrett, so that's all we're waiting on. He might be having trouble finding it. We're going to ask Garrett if he needs help. Okay. Okay. I'm sure he'll be on in a minute, but for now we're going to move on. It'll take him to where we're at. And then, oh, well, there he goes. He just popped in. There we go. All right, guys, y'all ready to start? This is our embracing our diversity. So with the first activity, we discovered that nobody's really the same, are they? We're different. So what do we do with those differences? We embrace our diversity. In today's lesson, we're just going to look and appreciate what makes someone special. We're going to practice exploring those relationships, and then we're going to reflect on it at the end of our lesson. Okay, guys? Now, this says 25 minutes, but it's not going to take that long because we're only going to hit the highlights since this is a short day. First, I want everybody to answer this question, okay? And we'll give you a few moments to answer. See, we got 2 answers. Let's see if anybody else's answers will pop up. Look, we're feeling a little different today. We got a couple different answers. We got some calms, we got some happies, we got some exciteds. Looks like we have a couple more people that need to answer though. Miss Carson and Miss Riley. There's Carson. Where's Riley and Maggie at? And if you don't want to answer, you don't have to either. Riley, you are on there twice, aren't you? Well, that's okay. All right. I think everybody's answered and we can move on now. Okay, guys, I want you to look at this picture as soon as it comes up. And I want you to look at the background, the trees. I want you to look at everything in the picture, the people, this little guy that looks pretty happy. And I want you to just sit and think on it for a couple minutes and really find the similarities and the differences. Okay. We're going to wait about 1 more minute and then we'll move on after you think some similarities and differences are going on in this picture. And you can go in and we can see different areas of the park. Look, there's the back of it. We have some older people, some younger people. There's the little happy kid again. And look, we can go look at the sky and see the trees. Okay. So we saw a lot in our picture, didn't we? We'll take one more quick look. We'll end on our little happy guy. Woo! All right. What do the people of the park have in common, and what makes them unique? I want one person to answer the first question, and I want someone else to answer the second question.
A lot of the kids were wearing the same outfits. Like, even if they weren't the same color, they were the same. They had like a hat and a jacket and boots.
Okay. So they had some similarities. We have our outfits that are the same. We have a bunch of different kids. But what else is going on in the picture? What makes them unique?
I don't know about from each other, but from us, it didn't seem like they were in America because the signs on the buildings looked Russian almost.
That's a good observation. I didn't even see that. So they may not be in this country based on that sign. So what else do they have unique or in common? One thing that I noticed is that there's people of all different ages here. There's this little guy that's probably about 2, a little 7-year-old. There's adults over in the corner.
There's an old lady on the bench to the right.
Mm-hmm. So there's people of all walks of life in this photo, and honestly, you don't know anything about them except for what we can see on the outside. So there might be even more things that make them unique on the inside. So as one of your, I want you to get out a sheet of paper or just something to write on, and I want you to answer these questions real quick. What's your name? What's your favorite activity? And what language do you speak at home? And we're going to get on in just a second, and I want a couple of you to answer these so we can see what makes you personally special. All right, Maggie, what's your name, your favorite activity, and what language do you speak at home?
My name is Maggie. My favorite activity is doing my makeup, and we speak English.
Awesome. Okay, Riley, what is your name, your activity, your favorite activity, and what language do you speak at home?
My name is Riley. My favorite activity is drawing, and I speak English at home.
Awesome. Carson, are you still here? Do you want to answer one? I don't think you've answered yet.
Yes, my name is Carson. I like to cook and I speak English at home.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is y'all are all the same in the fact that everybody speaks English at home, but y'all all have different favorite activities and different names. So y'all are similar with culture, but y'all are still diverse. So I want you to write on this messaging board real quick, and I want you to say what makes you special. You just put it down in the little thing and you post it real quick. It can be short or it can be long. It doesn't have to be either. Just whatever makes you special.
Wait, do we post in the chat or on Nearpod?
On Nearpod. All right. You do always have colorful hair. And it makes you very special. All right. Who else wants to post? Don't be shy. You don't have to post something big. That is very cool. I also like Greek art, but I'm more like the stories. All right. The Harry Potter Universal Studios, that's very cool. You are very uniquely crafted, Miss Janita. All righty. I think we're waiting on a couple more and then we'll move on. Now, if you want to go back to this later and look at the PowerPoint, you can. You just have to go back to Nearpod and you can go back and you can see our answers and that kind of stuff. All you have to do is go back to the site and use that code, okay? If you want to go back and take a look at anything else. Alrighty, I want everyone to be finishing up your answers. We should have a couple of more. Okay, here's Garrett. You can't smell. That is very interesting. Alrighty, I think there's one more. Where's Miss Carson? There's Miss Carson. You listen to K-pop. That is very cool. I personally have never gone into K-pop. Okay, so see, again, here's another thing that makes us all special and different. We have uniquely crafted, you can't smell. Maggie has colorful hair. Riley loves Greek art. I don't think we've had one thing that's the same except for that we all speak English. Diversity. In our diverse world, different kinds of people live and work and learn together. Our diverse world includes people with different interests, like scientists and artists. It includes people of different religions and people who speak different things. It includes people of different races, ethnicities, and cultural backgrounds. So, America has always been called a melting pot. So, it is one of the most diverse places just because everybody here is different. So what's diverse about this picture? I want 2 people to respond. What makes these kids diverse?
They all have different nationalities.
They all have different nationalities. One more.
They're all different heights.
They are all different heights. I don't think there's one person in there that has the same height. Diversity as a definition means having different types together. It is a variety. Alrighty. What do you think is important to appreciate why do you think it's important to appreciate what makes someone different or special? You can talk to each other or you can think out loud. I just want you to give it a little why is it important to appreciate that? Okay, our world would be very dull and boring if we were all the same. What else? We're kind of making this all a group conversation instead of just a paired thing. So why is it important to appreciate what makes us different? Just write in the comments. You don't have to talk this time. Different cultures can add to each other and create new cultures. That's very true. I mean, when the Pilgrims came here, they mixed with the Indians, which were the Native Americans. They mixed with all kinds of people to create America. Different countries from everywhere moved here and mixed all of their cultures. As you move on in school, you'll see a lot of people, when you go back and you research different languages all stem from a couple of few native languages, and then they branch off to create the different ones. So that's very true. The different cultures creating new cultures. Yes. All right. Let's get one more response and then we can move on, guys. Maybe Carson. Want to answer in the chat and tell us why it's important to appreciate what makes someone special or different? Oh, here's Isabel. What'd she say? Without appreciating and learning about other cultures, we'd lose a lot of different things. Without different cultures, there wouldn't be a Hispanic food group or Greek food. There wouldn't be hip hop or jazz. Very true. We would just have one lump. Alrighty. Alrighty. I want a couple of you to write one thing in each column of your organizer. Okay? I think that's how it works. We're just gonna have to try this together and see how it's wanting you to do it. Is everybody on their graphic organizer? You don't have to list 3 or 5 things. I just want someone to write one thing in each thing.
It's wanting us to have partners and compare to our partners. What do you want us to do for that?
Let me see how we're supposed to connect you guys. All right. What I want you to do, I want you to write in partner A slot, and then what we'll do is we'll compare in a minute, okay? So write on the partner A slot, and then we'll talk about it together. Because ideally, we're supposed to do this on in a class together, But since we can't, we're just going to have to do our best. Alrighty. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to click on one of y'all's, and then I want to see if anybody else has something in common, okay? So let's do Belle. I'm a fan of Star Wars, Supernatural, and Harry Potter. I play bass drum. I've been to Scotland and England. So who else likes Harry Potter?
I do.
I'm sorry, Maggie, did you say something?
I like Harry Potter, and I've been to England.
So you and Belle have a lot in common, don't you? What do you and Belle have different?
I don't like Star Wars.
Okay. Let's see. Miss Janita put she's a singer. Does anybody else sing?
I like to sing.
All right, Belle likes to sing, so you two have that in common. Miss Janita, do you like to play bass drum? Have you been to Scotland, England, or are you a fan of Star Wars?
I do like Star Wars. And I have not been to England.
Okay.
And I don't play the bass drum.
So y'all have a couple of things in common. Miss Janita, don't you play an instrument?
I play the keyboard. Piano.
So you and Belle both play an instrument, but different instruments.
True.
Very cool. All right, let's see. Miss Riley likes vampire movies. She's crafty, and she's been to Canada. So Belle, Riley, and Maggie have all been out of the country before.
I've been to Canada and I've been to Canada, Mexico, and Honduras.
So there's at least 4 people in here that have been out of the country, but we've all been to different places. And Garrett can pop his toes. That is very cool, Garrett. Thank you for sharing. All right, Miss Carson, what makes you unique? Your little thing hasn't popped up yet. Are you having technical difficulties? Okay. It's okay. You don't have to answer then. We'll just move on. All right. Now I want everybody to answer this question real quick. How did the activity help you understand your partner better? Now we did this as a group activity, so how does this help you understand the group as a whole better? So let's see how many answers we can get. All right, Garrett says you guys travel a lot. What else? We're all different in interests, but we are also very much the same. Sarah posted, I learned a lot about people's personalities. Let me see. Okay, I want to make sure we read all of them. It helped me understand that a lot of share a broad topic, but the details are different. Oh, well, there's some more. It's like how you said a lot of us have traveled, but to different places. And Belle, that's very true. I mean, it's not just with the traveling, there's a lot of things that connect us on a day-to-day basis, but the details are what makes us different. So we're all in the same class, but we're all at the same school, but we're all gonna go home to different places in some way or another. Maggie said we're more alike than we thought. We are more alike than we thought. And Miss Riley said she got to know the interests and hobbies of her classmates, and they have the same things and have been to similar places. That's true. Okie dokie. Now, did we get a response from everybody? No, Carson's still having difficulties, so okay, we don't have to be all right. No one is good at everything. We have different strengths. And I learned that in our discussion, that we all have different strengths, or we have different interests, hobbies, that kind of thing. And appreciating and recognizing those differences helps us strengthen our relationships. Because if everybody's good at the same thing, then there won't be need for other things. And we're going to skip this one because we just kind of did that. All right. Now, I don't want you to take 5 minutes for this. I want you to take about 2. I want you to reflect on the importance of building unity within a diverse environment. Now, I know that may sound weird, but basically what it wants you to know is why is being diverse help us? And if you have questions, you can ask, but I want you to think on this for 2 minutes, and then we'll go back. When you have an answer, just write in the chat that you have it, okay? Or you can write your answers. That works too. That's a good answer, Miss Janita. All right, you'll have 40 seconds left. Get your answers in the chat. Which dino is going to win, guys? All right, quick, which dinosaur's gonna win? All right. All right. We're missing a couple answers, guys. Let's look at ones we have so far. With so many different opinions and preferences, we have to find common ground in order to perceive unity. Unity pulls us together in spite of our differences. That's very good. Being in unity helps us create friends and better relationships no matter our cultural background. Very true. Diversity helps us bring different skills to the table. If everyone likes to read and no one likes to fix plumbing, there'd be a lot of issues no one could fix. Very true. We have to be able to appreciate what makes everyone different in order to have unity. If we didn't have unity, everyone would be so different and there wouldn't be an appreciation of the differences. That's just some good answers, guys. Working together. We are all different. It's important to appreciate those differences and learn to work together. Our diverse world includes many different people. We should include others in our lives, even when those others are very different from us. When we work together and include others, our lives will be better. And y'all have a lot of life ahead of you, and a lot of time we will need to work together. So I want you to write a couple of why is it important to appreciate differences and work together. Why is it so important that we appreciate those differences? And Carson, it's okay if you're still having technical difficulties. But I want y'all to just put a couple of responses on the post. Maggie, is that your post for the Nearpod? We will build better relationships. Yes, okay. Alrighty, is anybody else wanting to answer? Why is it important to appreciate? All right, we have a couple more answers. It's important to appreciate the differences and work together because without cooperation, there would be a lot of fighting. Progress would be very difficult to achieve. Differences help us when we collaborate to see different sides of a problem and to come up with better solutions. Those are good answers, guys. Now, why is it the most important for those differences? A lot of times, you're going to have to work with people you may not like very much. But if you can appreciate what they bring to the table, that is very helpful. Okay, guys? Now let's move on. Now, I want everyone to choose one of these tiles and put something that you've learned about one of your classmates in them. Okay? Now I want you to write a name and a strength for each classmate. And if you don't want to do all the classmates, that's okay. But if you can put a couple of your classmates, that'd be great. All right, let's see what Maggie put. Garrett can't smell. I'm glad we learned something new about Garrett. Does that help you see something different about Garrett now? Okay. Isabel wrote, Maggie dyes her hair, and Garrett can pop his toes. That's good, guys. Okay. Now, y'all can come back and finish this later, but I want y'all to put in there something that you learned about each classmate if you can. But you don't have to finish it right now. I see that Carson wrote Maggie likes to travel. And those are all important differences and strengths that we can see in our classmates, okay? Alrighty, let's move on. If you only looked at one piece of a puzzle, would the picture amount to anything? Think about the puzzle pieces you just filled out with the strengths of your classmates. How are our strengths, when unified or used together, can create something better than just one puzzle piece? So basically what we're asking here is, if you put together the strengths of your classmates, like Riley being able to draw, Isabel being able to play the drums, Janita being able to play the piano, if we put all those things together, we can probably make something with it. So I just want you to answer this question real quick. It doesn't have to be a long answer, just a short one, okay? Just something simple and sweet, okay, guys? And if it takes you a second to think of one, that's okay. We can wait just a minute. And Carson, it's okay if you can't answer because I know you were having trouble. All right, one puzzle piece is not a complete picture. We all need the puzzle pieces to make a beautiful picture. That's very true. One piece only shows one aspect of, yes, that's very good, guys. All right, let's see if we can get a couple more answers and then we'll move on, okay, guys? We're almost done. It's better to have more information so we know how to help each other. That's very good, Maggie. Garrett and Miss Bell. Bell, with all the differences, we make a whole picture and create different and new ideas. That's very true, Bell. All right, Garrett, we're waiting on you now, buddy. Alrighty. Well, thank you guys for answering that question for me. We're almost done. I want y'all to answer this one, though. How confident are you in your ability to understand how appreciating diversity can strengthen relationships? All right, we have one answer. Now, this is a good one. This is, wow, y'all are all pretty confident, aren't you? Thank you for being so honest, guys. That's really helpful. All right. Thank you so much for participating in that. And I think we learned a lot about what everything was going on. Now, I just want to introduce your homework assignment, and I want you to fill out this graphic organizer with somebody at home. It can be an older sibling or a parent, just someone to help you fill this out, and I want you to bring it back on Monday or whenever you see me next, okay, guys? And if you have any questions, you can ask them real quick. And I want to show you how I did it. This is what it's supposed to look like when you get done. You'll have a definition, synonyms, and in the middle, after you do all that, you'll explain what makes them alike, what are their connections. And then when we come back, we'll have a little bit more on cultural diversity, and then we're going to move on to something else, okay? Now, does anybody else change their answer about what they think cultural diversity means since we started? It's okay if it hasn't, but if it has, does anybody else have a comment on what cultural diversity means? Is everybody good then? All right, if y'all are good, I want you to comment that you understand, and I think, well, that'll be good on our cultural diversity lesson. Just say aye. Okay, we got one. Does anybody else get it? Everybody understand what we were going for? Good, good. Alrighty, got it. Okay, we got a couple more. Miss Carson, do you have it? Alrighty. Well, thank you. We're gonna stop our recording now, and I hope everybody learned something new, and I hope everybody has a great day. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen now.